Maybe she told us to do it.
All right, so it says follow the sequence of transformations. So what we're going to do on this is we're going to write down our pre-image, and then it's going to tell us what to do, and we're going to be doing multiple things. So this says triangle TRY is translated, which means we're going to subtract 4 from the X, subtract 3 from the Y, and then rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. Graph and list the new vertices. So let's start by listing our vertices for T, R, and Y.
T is -1, 2.
All right, take a point.
Oh.
Who can raise their hand and tell me R?
Oh, I can.
It's what? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Ari gets the point because she raised her hand like I asked. And Mazzaro, tell me why.
1, 2, give me the 2, 2.
You know you have it on your paper, right?
No.
This is in your notebook. This is in your notebook. Cool.
I'll write on one.
I should take that point though, right?
You're welcome.
Yes. All right, so at first we have X, Y. Now the translate, what is it? How does it tell us to translate our image? And? Good, take a point. So we have X minus 4 and Y minus 3. So that's going to give us T prime. Are we ready or do we need a mo?
We are ready. I'm
It's the next page. Yes. Sweet potatoes.
not good.
Okay, so now we're going to subtract 4 from the X. So what's -1 minus 4? -5. And then what's 2 minus 3? -1. Does everybody see how we got those numbers?
Yes.
All right, so for R prime, can you guys go ahead and do R prime and then we'll say it together in just a minute? Do you need to sit in the hallway like a 4-year-old? All right, what is X? What is it? What is the X value for R prime?
-1.
-1, 1. All right, what's 3 minus 4? And what's 4 minus 3?
Look at that.
All right, Y prime. -2, -1. Who can tell me why it's -2, -1 besides Brinley? And Brinley, you get a point.
Because you're subtracting.
Raven. Good. Take a point. All right, now this says rotate CW, but it should say rotate CCW because we're going counterclockwise. Now, okay. Now, if I don't remember how to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, I'm going to stop talking while my teacher's trying to instruct me, and I'm going to flip back to rotations. Then in my handy-dandy notebook, I'm going to look for 90 degrees counterclockwise, and where do we see that? Bottom where? There is no hope for the future. So what does it say? If only it was funny. What does it say that we need to do? Swap them and make the y negative. So let's write that above this. It's -yx. Now, are we rotating our original image or the new translated image?
Translated.
The new translated image, because it says it's translated and then rotated.
They have to read really well.
Yes, you have to be able to read and or pay attention. All right, so T double prime. We're going to swap these and we're going to change our y. So if I swap these, it'll be -1, -5, but I have to change my y. And what do I change it to? A +1. So it's 1, -5. The x stays the same. We only change the y. And that's why we wrote it as -yx.
So then next will be 1, -1.
-1, -1.
Oh, okay.
Because we swap them and then change the sign. All right, what about your y?
1, -2.
1, -2. And those are our new image coordinates. All right, now we're going to graph. So how many total triangles are we going to have at the end?
3.
3. We're going to have this one, which is our green. And then I'm going to have T prime, R prime, Y prime, which is my fuchsia, and then my blue. So you guys graph while I'm graphing. You should be able to plot these points by now without me. Are you sure?
I'm just gonna ask, like, on the first one, in the blue, why you didn't make that one column a negative?
Because it's -yx, so if this is negative, it turns it into a positive. Dun 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 dun.
Magic.
Magic.
Take a point.
Yeah, if we all got it right, we can take a point.
Yeah. You got it right?
I like that y'all colored the original one in with the color that you wrote on your paper. I like that.
Think about that.
All right, are we ready? For the next one that says example 3, but should be example 2. I don't know. All right, so it says find the new coordinates of triangle LMN when rotated 90 degrees clockwise and then reflected. All right, so let's write down our original coordinates. 3, 1, and then?
-1, 6.
Good, and then?
-3, 2.
Okay. Now, who can look back in their notes, raise their hand, and tell me how we rotate it clockwise 90 degrees? We're going to look in our notes or on our reference sheet. Good, but we're going to raise our hand and not just scream out. 90 degrees clockwise. Y -x? Do we agree or disagree with her?
Agree.
Agree.
I hope we agree because I already wrote it down. You disagree? Are you disagreeing for a reason or just to be contradictory?
Country.
What's your reason?
A fact.
Okay, what's our fact? Mister, 90 degrees clockwise is Y -x. No, mister, 90 degrees clockwise. All right, so we swap them and we change the sign of which value?
X.
Okay, so what's L prime going to be? 1, -3. All right, so we swapped them and then we changed the sign of our X values. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay, what is our M prime? M is in Mary.
+1.
6, +1. Why is it a +1?
Two negatives make a positive.
Hallelujah, we've learned something. And N prime would be?
2,
6 positive.
3.
2, 3, yes.
6 instead of 2. I don't know what I'm doing. Is it okay if our triangle cross?
Yes. All right. And then the last one, it reflects in the x-axis. So who can look back at reflections and then tell us what we do when we reflect on the x-axis? I think Eric is going to tell us this one.
Oh, man.
We're going back to reflections, and you're looking for the one that says x-axis. Tell me the coordinates that we're going to be using.
Oh, X, Y. Oh, X, Y.
Look at you go. Take a point. It was painful for us all, but you did it. All right, so are we swapping this time?
No.
We're not swapping. And are we going back to our original or using our rotated? Our rotated. Don't go back to the original because it's first rotated, then reflected.
Wait, do we pretend that the 1 is the x?
Yes, this is now our x. Alright, so our L double prime is going to be 1 positive 3 or negative 3? Positive 3.
Whoa.
Alright, baby, it's just x negative y, right?
Yes.
So we're using our rotated. Remember, don't go back to the original.
Okay.
Use this one. So our 1 stays the same, and then we change the sign of our y. So it's a negative negative 3, which becomes a positive.
Okay.
All right, what about m double prime? 6 negative 1. Good. And what about our n double prime?
2 negative 3.
All right, if 3 people at our table can graph them all correctly, you'll get 3 points.
And 2?
Y'all better get it right on the
Very small.
All we're doing is graphing now because we have our new coordinates, so all we're doing is graphing. Check it against mine on the board. If 3 people got it right, you get a point, except for Raven's table, which is 2 people got it right and they get a point.
I think you got it right, Miss Asbury. You said the green one? Get it right, we get 3 points.
Oh, 3, sorry. The yellow one is on, but other people or 2 people got it right.
I got it right.
Because it was written down on the paper.
Okay, so real quick before we look at our homework, I want to look at our project. Now, in your project, it says that you will need to draw a pre-image of a picture that has 10 or more points. So everybody get this sheet out. Everybody underline and or highlight where it says 10 or more points. I gave you one Friday.
What?
I did it with freaking mustard.
Oh, you put a big thing A?
Yeah, too much.
Go.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, she did.
I found the best one, right?
Eric.
That you sent the other day. Maybe not so hard. You look like a whatever it says.
All right. So it says 10 or more points. Your pre-image should be completely inside one of the quadrants on the coordinate plane. Like this.
That's so cute. Oh my god.
I'm going to show you a couple.
Did someone do that? Or did you do that? Like, did a student do that?
Alright, so it says draw your pre-image and place points at all of the vertices and label the points alphabetically. List the points in ordered pairs on the transformation data sheet, which you are going to have to make. You have to make that. And what it can look like.
Oh my god! That's adorable.
See, you should have went to art.
Alright, so yours does not have to be as detailed as the crab one. But you see how many points they had?
Like more than 10.
So they listed all their points. They labeled it original, and then they did their translation, then they did their reflection, and then they did their rotation.
I'm really confused. My eyes are going everywhere. I hope you give them that.
Okay, all she's showing you.
I'm saying what's happening on the board.
And there ain't nothing points.
Okay.
Over exaggerated.
Alright, so you can do it this way. Now you need to label what's the pre-image, what's the reflection, the translation. Does everybody understand?
You so fine.
Right.
She shakes
Oh,
my
no.
religion.
Never mind.
Aww.
That's
So cute. He has little flowers.
Alright, so you have to translate, reflect, and rotate. You may do this in any order you want. Underline that. You may do this in any order you want.
You're really letting our creative senses flow today.
Hang on just a second. Each image should be color-coded. Underline that. Cool.
Whatever darkened.
And you will have until Wednesday, not Tuesday,
Wednesday.
April 18th.
Because Trey was trying to confuse me in third period today.
So mark out Tuesday, write Wednesday. If you are failing, this is mandatory. If you are not failing, it is bonus. Does everybody understand? Fantastic. What is your question?
Do all the dots have to connect, or
Can I just do a pentagon?
can we do little stars?
I mean,
What do you mean?
All you know what I'm gonna do?
It has to be one image.
Yes, I know it's one image, but like,
oh,
like that dog, and how you do the eyes inside.
Yes. Yes. I know, that's why you keep saying my name, but do you see that I'm talking to someone else right now? Cool. Alright, someone else did a Superman. Someone did a diamond. Someone did a
I
crown.
did seven.
Yeah, they did not do that correctly.
You can.
Oh, that's a mouse and cheese.
Someone did a mouse and cheese.
Those are two separate.
Someone did, I don't know what that is.
That's a knife.
doesn't matter what
Someone did a medal. A medal. Cool. So those are some things you can do, but you must have a translation sheet or transformation sheet where you have your coordinates written down. Does everybody understand?
Yeah.
You must start them neatly. I would have gone ahead and started this weekend like Trey did. Yes. What? You're not going to get as many points if you do something simple. Like, the more detailed it is, the more points you get.
Like a mouse and cheese.
You can't go to the store and get a piece of graph paper? Alright, now, you have homework tonight, and you have to finish 1 through 4 on your homework. There are 8 total problems on the homework sheet, but you must finish 1 through 4. So you can either use this time now to go ahead and start on your project and get your image going, or you can do your homework. Does everybody understand?
It's my homework project.